Good evening and welcome to the September 5th Board of Education of Prince George's County meeting. I would like to thank Michaela Hutchinson, who is Michaela here? Yes, Michaela, who is a 12th grade student at the Chesapeake Math and IT Academy Public Charter School South. Michaela will come forward and introduce the Board of Education meeting. Please come forward, Michaela.
Good evening. My name is Michaela Hutchinson, and I am a proud senior at Chesapeake Math and IT South Academy High School. Go Tigers! I've served as a two-term president for the Student Government Association at CMIT South. I am currently a dual enrollment student at my high school and Prince George's Community College in the Information Technology program, where I maintain a 4.0 GPA. I enjoy the performing arts and have a passion for vocal performance. After working at the county courthouse this summer, it sparked my interest in becoming an attorney. Now, I want to welcome you to the September 5th, 2019 Prince George's County Board of Education meeting. Highlights this evening will include the news break entitled "The First Day of School, a Warm Welcome to the Future." Please continue to check www.pgcps.org for upcoming Board of Education meetings and events. And now, the September 5th of 2019 Board of Education meeting will begin. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hutchinson, and thank you for being such an excellent exemplar of students in Prince George's County. Now, I would ask each and everyone to please mute your wireless devices or turn them off, as they may interfere with our meeting this evening. We'll now ask my board colleague, Mr. Thomas, to lead us in our board prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. O God, we pray to administer that which is just in all educational policies, being ever mindful of your guidance. Steer us to action with love, wisdom, and understanding. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Ms. Ellis, would you please call the roll?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Ms. Ahmed, here. Ms. Busa-Strother. Here. Mr. Burrows.
Present.
Ms. Eubanks. Here. Mr. Montero.
Here.
Mr. Murray. Mr. Omalola.
Present.
Ms. Queen.
Present.
Mrs. Shepard.
Here.
Mr. Thomas.
Here.
Mr. Valentine. Mr. Wallace. Mrs. Williams.
Present.
Dr. Thornton.
Present. Thank you. Colleagues, we'll now turn our attention to the adoption of our agenda for this evening. A motion is in order to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the agenda for the September 5th meeting of the Board of Education be adopted. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposing, no. The ayes have it. If you would, colleagues, turn your attention to the minutes of our August 22nd board meeting. And a motion is in order.
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the minutes of the board's meeting of August 22nd be approved without modification. Those in favor, please say aye.
Point of order, one correction.
One correction.
Yes, in our notes under Resolution 2961-19, it said the board requested on future board action summaries that all items be included to show a list of percentage amounts for the rate of construction. It wasn't for, the request was not for future, it was for current and future. So that BAS as well.
With that correction modification, the minutes are before you for approval. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposing, no. The ayes have it. Colleagues, will now receive a news break. and the first day of school.
A few of the children might have covered their ears at all the noise, but most of them at William Beans Elementary couldn't get over getting high-fived as they walked by members of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority on the first day of school.
What a welcome for these kids. Yeah. The smiles are this wide like yours. This makes a difference, doesn't it?
It does. It absolutely does.
Tell me why this is important for you guys.
To get the kids off to a good first day so that they can have a wonderful school year.
All across Prince George's County on September 3rd, the storied rituals of school's first day became new for a new generation. Wide-eyed children sported new clothes, magnificent coiffures, and sparkling necklaces color-coded to match their assigned buses. But as always, there were some tears, some looks of apprehension, and some downright resistance to leaving mom, dad, and summer vacation behind.
Are you excited today? No. You want to have more vacation, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're different than your brother. What do you like about this school? Nothing.
Even the teachers and the CEO herself weren't immune to first day jitters.
Are you as nervous as the kids today?
Yes.
First time teaching?
Yes.
Yeah. What brought you to Prince George's County?
I'm a product of this county. I've come up through elementary, middle school, and high school in this county, so
You're home. You're home.
Yeah, this is home.
Yeah.
I am always excited about the first day of school. Even when I was a classroom teacher, I could not sleep the night before. And this was no different, except that I was nervous for 134,000 kids instead of just those 30 or 180 that were going to be in my classroom.
But with hugs all around, brother helping brother, and the police as much superstars as the superheroes on the children's backpacks, school started feeling like an okay kind of place.
You guys are rock stars. They all want to take selfies with you.
They do. They're the rock stars, though. We just want to be in their presence.
What are you looking forward to today?
Science.
Science. Wow.
But the 134,000 plus Prince George's students came back to more than just a warm welcome. New programs like expanded pre-K, where making music and making friends can go hand in hand. And one book, one school, where everyone in the community, not just the students, will be reading the same text, will make literacy a priority throughout the system. To drive home that message, Beans Principal Dana Tutt has taken Charlotte's Web, her school's first book, to, shall we say, arachnophilic heights.
So I have a spider that lives on my window, and I've been taking care of him all summer because I want the kids to be able to really think that that's Charlotte.
Yeah.
Everyone's excited about the pre-K expansion. So in the past, we would have a half-day program. So now we have a 2 full-day pre-K. So that's what all the excitement is about. You can see everything is brand new. The parents were excited about the program. We're excited about the program because we just think the children will be super prepared for kindergarten.
The pre-K, digital literacy, and other initiatives are just the beginning of what Dr. Golson hopes will be her legacy.
It really is part of the legacy that I want to leave behind, and that is growing our own. The community and my village invested in me, and now I have an opportunity to serve it. And it's the least I could do is to make sure that our own students have those kinds of same experiences.
For parents, that kind of vision and enthusiasm for Prince George's schools hasn't gone unnoticed.
What do you know about this school?
I don't. I just know that it's the neighborhood school. They have good test scores, and the reviews, a lot of parents said that they liked it.
That counts for a lot, word of mouth.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. It may not be possible to bottle that first day elation, but you can see it linger on the faces of Prince George's students each and every day. That's a welcome sight that forever warms the heart. This is Dave Zarin reporting.
Colleagues, at this time, I would ask that you join me in honoring the memory of Mr. Gilbert L. Butler, a truck driver at the Purchasing and Supply Services Warehouse, for a moment of silence. And I'd ask us to keep Mr. Butler and his family in our thoughts and our prayers. Thank you very much. And on behalf of the board, I want to, Dr. Golson, thank you and your team and our teachers and staff and all members of the school administration and others who welcomed our kids back on the 3rd. Thank you so much for the great work that you all did. We appreciate that. 135,694 students to the Prince George's County school system, our nation's best public school system, right? So we want to start off our school year as we are doing it to have a very successful year. I've just been encouraged by, I'm an old head, been around for a long time, but I've not seen, Dr. Golson, the excitement about our babies that I'm now seeing from our elected officials, the red carpet, Ms. Queen, the rollout for our babies. And we want to continue this throughout this whole year, not just a one-day event. Let's continue that through every day for our children. There will be hiccups. There will be things that we'll have to correct. But one thing we won't change, and that is this great energy that you see around our children. Dr. Golson and members of the board were with our state superintendent of schools, and there was this, I saw the look on her face as she saw us embracing our babies at Largo High School. And there were state officials there from our county and school board members, and our student school board member was there as we worked with our teachers to feed them, but also to show them the love that we have for them. And that took place throughout our county. So I want to thank everyone on behalf of this board for what you're doing, and let's continue that together throughout the remainder of the school year. We were at Largo High School, the Mighty Lions. The students were very impressive there, and our board members were at various schools throughout the county. There are upcoming meetings of this board that I want to bring to the attention of the public. On September 12th, we will have a very important CIP public hearing. We'd invite you to please sign up to speak beginning tomorrow. We'd like to hear your opinions about the CIP approach that the board is taking. Then on September 16th, we'll have a very important Board of Education committee meeting. As you know, we have 3 very important committees that are now doing the work of the Board of Education. The Board Operations, Budget, and Fiscal Affairs Committee will meet on the 16th at 6 p.m. And begin to look at CIP issues that will be then presented to the Board of Education. And then on the 19th, we'll have a very important board meeting where CIP and other issues will be considered by the Board of Education. I'd ask persons who are interested in speaking before the board to please sign up through quick links and come to speak before the Board of Education. This concludes my remarks, and I now turn the floor to Dr. Golson for your report.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome back students, staff, and families. It was so exciting to see everyone on the very first day of school. This year, I began my first day school visits, as you can see on the video, at Suitland High School, where I began my career as a mathematics teacher over 28 years ago. I also visited William Beans Elementary School, one of our 45 community schools that we'll be implementing this school year. William Wirt Middle School, where new construction will begin in a few months. Mount Pelion Elementary School, so that we could see expansion of our full-day pre-K program in action. Largo High School and the International High School at Largo, to surprise teachers with lunch as a way to say thank you for the days to come. And lastly, John Hanson Montessori and Forest Heights Elementary, where 2 communities have come together to support one another as we deal with the facility challenge at Forest Heights Elementary School. The school visits highlighted our priorities under the blueprint for Prince George's County Public Schools, a historic investment in teaching and learning. Thank you to staff and students for the warm welcome, and I promise to return without so many people joining me. One of the special highlights of my day on the very first day was sharing the excitement with the state superintendent, Dr. Karen Salmon, Our board chair, Dr. Alvin Thornton, and members of the Board of Education, Pamela Boozer-Strother, Belinda Queen, K. Alexander Wallace, and Joshua Omalola, who helped to serve our staff members. So thank you all for joining me. Several elected officials joined me throughout the day as well, and I cannot say thank you enough. All of our board members dispersed their time throughout the district at other schools, and I thank you for helping to greet our students and continue to enforce the importance of educational excellence. I'm most appreciative of the overwhelming support from community organizations, groups, and volunteers who greeted our students with high fives, red carpet, and friendly faces just to show them how much we care and how important education is to their successful future. So thank you to the village for showing up. This past Sunday, I visited several churches in the area, Ebenezer AME Church in Fort Washington, Reed Temple AME in Glendale, and First Baptist Church of Glenarden to attend back-to-school services and encourage members to support our students in their learning endeavors. Thank you so much if you were in any of those sites for attending and joining us. As I monitor our progress for a smooth opening of school, I'm aware of transportation challenges and concerns. Today, I went to a bus stop myself to monitor on-time arrival and to experience what our parents experience firsthand. I understand parents' worry, frustration, and anger over a late bus, a missed bus pickup, or even a drop-off. We're doing everything possible to improve transportation services. However, we have faced significant challenges. During the first week of school, problems often arise as students and drivers familiarize themselves with routes. But these issues are compounded now with the nationwide bus driver shortage and chronically vacant routes. In the meantime, though, we will improve communications with parents and school staff when buses are late while continuing to enhance our operational effectiveness. Even while in closed session today, I got a text message about a bus being late, so I know that now we're beginning to push that out so that we continue to make improvements throughout the school year. I apologize personally to any parent whose child has had a negative experience on our bus during the first week of school and ask for your continued patience. Along the lines of improved communications, we have expanded our social media outreach to help build partnerships with families. I now have a Twitter account to share information about our latest initiatives. You can find it at Dr. Monica CEO. And this month, we will launch our new Spanish language Facebook page. Follow PGCPS on, I agree, that does. Thank you for the applause. I agree, that's great. Please continue to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to get latest updates, and be sure to sign up for e-alerts at www.pgcps.org. And several students have already asked. Yes, I'll be doing inclement closures on my Twitter account. So please make sure you sign up. Have an amazing school year. You're welcome. Student Board Member Joshua Omalala. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gulshan. Colleagues, we have 13 individuals who have registered to speak. I would ask them, when I call their names, to please come forward and please adhere to the regulations that were announced to you when you signed up to speak. The first individual to speak is Kaylin Crenshaw, who's a student at Parkdale High School, Executive Board Treasurer, Student Government Association, regarding construction of an auditorium. Ms. Crenshaw.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Kaylin Crenshaw, and I'm a senior at Parkdale High School, and I would first like to thank all the members of the Board of Education for allowing me to speak this evening. I'm here on behalf of the Parkdale SGA to bring attention to the lack of an auditorium at our school. Parkdale High School has a larger than average school population. When we need to inform our student body of graduation requirements, school policies and activities, or other events, we have to separate these assemblies over the course of an entire day, or sometimes even several days. This cuts into valuable instructional time, and disrupts the general flow of the school day. With an auditorium, we will be able to address the entire student body at once without allocating an unnecessary amount of time. Parkdale High School is also very active in its surrounding community, holding dance competitions and church services. Having an auditorium provide a formal space for the community to hold events on a more consistent basis, since the space that we use for those competitions and everything is the gym. When we have basketball tournaments, that occupies a space, and that allows the community to not have a space. So While I'm on the topic of the community, having an auditorium wouldn't just actually benefit Parkdale and the surrounding community, it would benefit the surrounding PGCPS schools, which is William Wirt Middle School, Beacon Heights Elementary School, and Riverdale Elementary School. All 4 schools would then have a space for choir practices, theater performance, open mic nights, and other artistic or even non-artistic events, such as academic lectures from members of the community to further enrich the students of PG County. These events wouldn't just be fun for the students, they'd be intellectually stimulating. When our students see one another actively participating in these activities, it motivates and encourages them to strive for more and to participate themselves. This is a clear opportunity for more success for my peers and I, both younger and older. I hope you take all these factors in consideration, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Crenshaw. The next speaker is Jordan Cooper. He's also a student from the Parkdale High School. Student government and funding issues.
Hello, how are you guys? Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, I apologize. I wanted to hand out these pictures before I started. I don't know how we're gonna get this around.
You can give it to the staff, Ms. Executive Director.
Here you go. All right, thank you. All right, well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jordan Cooper, and I'm speaking tonight on behalf of Parkdale High School and Parkdale High School's Executive Board. I serve as the Parkdale High School SJ President, and I'm here to bring to you guys my concerns. So we decided to come out today because we feel time after time Parkdale is being overlooked in regards to getting new, I guess, pieces of infrastructure to our school. So today I really wanted to talk about one of the main things that we wanted to change was getting a turf field, because we are one of maybe, I want to say 5 or 6 schools that don't have a turf field, and it's not just Parkdale that needs a turf field, but it's all the other schools in Prince George's County that don't have a turf field. So my opening question to you all would be, don't we all care about the safety of our students, and don't we want to make sure that every day our students are protected and comfortable? Because if that's really the case, if that's really what we want to do, we have to make sure not only are they comfortable in the classroom, but for our after-school students that are athletes, we have to make sure that they're comfortable on the field. So I really just wanted to know how long or how can we possibly do that for the schools that don't have a turf field. So if any of you guys have ever been to Parkdale, you know it's kind of like in a ditch. It's kind of like down low. So anytime it like rains, and when it rains, it pours. So when it pours, it's a lot. It's just a lot of water. So when we come out the next day to the field, it's covered in water. It's completely drenched. It's not really a field anymore. Rather, it's a huge puddle. Yeah, a pot. That's basically what it is. So it's kind of sad and disheartening for our athletes to come out just to see a puddle, because you obviously can't practice in a puddle, because if you do, you're risking injuries, and we've already had injuries, and we want to prevent that. And we've also had several game cancellations, and that's deteriorating from a lot of things, whether that's letting I don't know if you guys know like how football games work. I don't know how football games work. I run track, so I wouldn't know. But I know for track we have counties, then we have regionals, and we have states, but it's all like on a certain time frame. So if football is anything like that, games that are canceled, like those county and regional games, if those games are canceled, that is going to then cause issues to see when we'll have that game so that we can make it to the state, get to the state level. So it's just, there's a lot of problems with us not having a turf field. So, I just wanted to talk to you guys about that. And if you guys see the pictures, you can see what I'm talking about how, I don't know if they got around, but you'll be able to see how, how badly it's necessary. But thank you guys.
Thank you so much, Jordan, for your testimony. The next speaker is Ariana Hill, also a student at the Parkdale High School, regarding the need for an auditorium. Ms. Hill. Good evening.
My name is Ariana Hill. I'm currently a senior at Parkdale High School, and I would first like to thank the members of the board for allowing me to speak tonight. I would like to talk about the need for an auditorium in all Prince George's County high schools. Auditoriums can be used for assemblies, plays, and many other things. In order for Prince George's County students to maximize their success in school, they need for their school to have the proper resources to support them reach their full potential. My apologies. A student cannot have the best grades if their class time is being cut or put on pause because of the multiple assemblies that need to be had, being held twice because this isn't a place big enough for our assemblies to be held. An artistic student will never reach their full potential if there is no place for them to have plays, poetry slams, cultural fashion shows, or even band and orchestra recitals. And student advocates will not reach their full potential if they don't have a place to reach out to their peers through intellectual presentations and discussions that allow the students of the county to have their voices heard. Now please hear my voice and consider the contribution of an auditorium to Parkdale High School and all other high schools that do not have one. Thank you.
Thank you. The next speaker is Ms. Alter Hayes, the Central High School Alumni Association, building a new Central High School. I don't see Ms. Hayes. So the next speaker is Crystal Young from the Whitehall Elementary School PTA regarding overpopulation.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Thank you for having me back again in such a short amount of time. I actually want to start differently than I started last time because I actually do want to commend members of the board and members of Dr. Golson's staff. We have received a significant amount of communication recently in terms of our overpopulation, our learner cottages, and everyone has been very responsive. They have offered many solutions. I actually spoke today in depth with the different solutions that are offered for our community. I have a meeting with our board member tomorrow. So I want to commend you for hearing us and really listening and responding. I was actually very surprised to get a response from the CEO, so I appreciate that. And piggybacking off of some of the conversations that I have had, one of our challenges now, because of the large amount of students that we have, is our traffic pattern. One of the conversations that we had today is maybe bringing out some security to assess the situation, because the problem is, because we have 640 students, if you double that by the amount of cars that come in every morning and every afternoon, those cars are parking on people's in their driveways, on their grass, to the point where I had to reach out to BOE Police Department to ask them to provide units as a detail. So starting September 11th, the Chief of Police has offered us an opportunity to have some units come out to help us with our traffic pattern, because it's causing issues in now not just the school, but the community. And of course, that is causing, we have had the first day some residents who have complained very loudly with profanity and some violence, which is what's caused me to reach out to BOE Police. So we need to look at that further. How do we assess that problem with coming in and out of the school? It's a lot of kids and not enough space, so we're dealing with that. One of the other things that we're dealing with is a lack of restrooms. With, again, 640 kids and not enough laboratories to accommodate that, we have long lines to the bathroom, and that is especially dangerous for primary grades who don't know how to use the restroom properly. So we need to figure out something to deal with that. I know a new building cannot happen tomorrow. Realistically, I understand, logistically, there are a lot of things that have to happen. But we have to look into that, looking into maybe a bigger cafeteria, because again, this is a traffic jam that starts from the start of the day to the end of the day. So again, I want to thank you for responding personally and for sending some of your members to email me and call me. I'm very appreciative of you hearing our concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Young. The next speaker is Antonio Joanna Smith regarding class size issues. I don't see Ms. Smith, so we'll move now to Suzanne Johnson. Proposed changes to the school calendar.
Hello, everybody. I think you know me. I'm Suzanne Johnson. My daughter attends third grade at Phyllis E. Williams Spanish Immersion School. We've had an exciting start to our school year with a red carpet welcome for our students and the opportunity to share our school and our immersion program with our Fox 5 viewers. So if you haven't checked us out, be sure to check us out. It's a very exciting day showing everyone how we're building community while achieving greatness. So check out Fox 5 or PEWPTO on Twitter or on our website. But anyway, that's not why I'm here to talk today. I am disappointed by the late proposal of changes to the 2019-2020 PGCPS calendar. When we found out that the state was going to allow for the possibility of starting before Labor Day, the decision was made to keep the start after Labor Day as it was to minimize the disruption to the plans that were already underway for the school year. Now that we have passed Labor Day, we are seeing a proposal to push the end of the school year past June 15th, which seems a little like a bait and switch move. My biggest concern is the disruption and burden on our families resulting from changing the September 27th professional development from a 3-hour early dismissal to a full day closure. This will affect our families needing to make alternate childcare arrangements for programs that are closed when our schools are closed. So they don't have opportunities to use the before and after program, for example, because the school's not in session. And that's only 3 weeks away. That's a lot for families that have to make alternate arrangements. The change to the closing the schools on April 28th for primary elections, that's a little more understandable since the schools are used as a polling location. At least families have a little more time to plan for the alternate childcare arrangements for that date because it's so far in the future. However, it will add an additional day to the end of the school year beyond June 15th, unless there's another day during the school year that can be used as a replacement. For example, if the October 18th full day professional development was changed to a 2-hour or 30-hour early dismissal, then the schools could be closed in April and then still keep with the June 15th closure as the last day of classes. I also want to note there are only 3 inclement weather makeup days built into the calendar, and given our history of weather changes, weather closings over the past year, there's a high probability of PGCPS having more than 3 inclement weather day closings. Therefore, it is very likely that additional days will need to be added to the end of the school year, or talk of shortening spring break again. And we know how well that went over in 2018 with our families and our staff and the outcry that happened there, and we end up adding to the end of the calendar that year. So with that proposal to add 2 days already to the calendar and then the potential for additional closings due to weather, we are risking taking the school year into late June or actually needing to cut days from spring break this year. And we know that no one's going to be happy with either of those situations. So as a compromise, please consider keeping September 27th as a 3-hour early dismissal, adding the closure on April 28th, and extending the school year only to June 16th. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. The next speaker is Ms. Michelle Clark regarding individual teacher issues. Ms. Clark.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The main teacher issue that I'm here to address is the increase in our health care premiums. This has come as a great concern to a number of people in our building. Among other things, most people say, it's great, you just got us a raise, and now they're taking it back. While I know it doesn't eat up the whole raise, $25 a pay period, $600 a year, that is a substantial increase for our employees. And for people who are making even less than the teachers are, it's really going to hit them hard. It's probably going to eat up a vast majority of what they got. And I'm going to share with you an email I got from one of our members who is very upset about this. Called me the other day, and I told her I'd be here today. And she said, the proposed increase to health insurance will hurt more teachers than will benefit them. Our step increase will basically be going towards paying for higher health insurance costs per paychecks. I'm on prescriptions, 4 that are non-preferred brands due to a genetic disorder, and the increase from $30 to $70 would be devastating, which would cause me to have to get a second job to pay for the prescriptions and still be able to live. Even though I am young, about 15 years younger than I, the out-of-pocket max going from $500 to $1,000, as well as the other deductibles, are going up as much as 50% and would end up causing teachers to pay so much money out of pocket. The Care First plan, as it is, helps the teachers who struggle with health problems to get quality care and still be able to live off the lack of salary steps that we lost in the past. And although we're making them up now, the historical past harm is close to $100,000 for many of our members that will never be made up. She says she has to go to the doctors every month or two for testing, and she would have to sacrifice her health care to afford to pay my other bills or work a second job. If the increase happens, Prince George's is supposed to be known for taking care of their teachers, and with the 10% for her increase, this would be a lie. The increase will hurt teachers more than helping them stay healthy. We can't stay healthy if we can't afford our prescriptions nor our doctor's bills. When I was hospitalized, CareFirst paid my whole bill. With this increase, I would have been stuck with a huge debt and mentally exhausted and stressed on figuring out how to pay my bill. Please don't increase our health insurance for CareFirst. I realize that there has to be some sort of increase, but an increase in moderation is better for your employees. And may I just state personally, when I was in the hospital, CareFirst took very good care of me, but it was stress from my job that put me there. So perhaps we can work on teacher workload issues and reduce our stress amount so we won't end up in the hospital or needing those health care benefits.
Thank you, Ms. Clark, for your comments. The next speaker is Ms. Teresa Mitchell-Dudley, who's president of the Prince George's County Educators Association. Ms. Dudley.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome back to school, everybody. I'm going to pass some letters on to you that I'm going to read from today. On July 25th of this year, at our benefits collaboration meeting, the CEO, at our meeting, the CFO informed the Prince George's County Educators Association that the rates for our employees would go up approximately $24.13 per month. For our PGCEA members, we will on average receive a $173.63 increase in salary per pay due to our recently signed negotiated agreement. Thank you for stepping up to the plate and making sure that our employees are rewarded for their hard work. This increase on average will equate to an average of 13%. With this being an average, of course, our new educators lower on the scale will see higher percentages of their salary taken up by the increase in medical benefits. We understand that medical benefits costs are rising, but our current policy on increases is not allowing us to maximize our benefits and contain costs in a collaborative way. PGCEA's negotiated agreement says that the board shall implement a medical care program for all eligible Unit 1 members and their dependents. The board shall pay 75% for the first 8 years and 80% thereafter. Unit 1 employee premiums and copay shall not increase prior to explanation and notification of PGCEA. We were notified in July of this increase. Our concern is twofold. First is that we have no concept or constructs as to what 25% or 80% of our health care costs are, how they are tabulated for increases, and how we can work together collaboratively to manage costs. These increases were explained to us in July. When we inquired as to why the large increases this year and the planned increase over the next 2 years, we were told that there were high claims and not proper utilization of our plan. If there are high claims, why don't we have stopgap insurance to protect the self-insured system? The previous few years showed actual costs were actually less than budgeted costs. The issue of high claims for the first half of this year may or may not exceed the budgeted amount. If there are utilization issues, then a collaborative approach to work with employees would have been in order. Our recommendation to the Board of Education is that the Board of Education establish a policy on health insurance that includes an insurance council that shall study and make recommendations concerning, but not limited to, health insurance benefit design and cost for active and retired employees, dental insurance design and cost, life insurance 403B and 4057. The Insurance Council will be comprised of members of the Board of Education and representatives from all of the bargaining units. All of our employees should be at the table to assist in this effort. I have attached an outline of what type of an insurance council we would like to see, and we have already begun some intensive conversations with Dr. Golson on some of the steps that the council would do. But I do believe that we need to have this council so that we can make sure that people don't give people a fake
Thank you, Ms. Dudley.
refund on their insurance and then
Thank you.
come back 2 years later and raise them 10%.
Thank you,
Thank
Madam.
you for your time.
Thank you, Madam President. The next speaker is Ms. Yvonne Borges, who is Vice President of the Prince George's County Educators Association.
Good evening, Dr. Thornton,
Good
board
evening.
members, fellow educators, and community members. First, Dr. Thornton, I have nothing but respect for you. You are a man of integrity, intellect, and a warrior for social justice, especially when it comes to public education. I am grateful that you are here with us, and that is straight from my heart. That being said, on to my topic. The educators of PGCPS have recently concluded contract negotiations, which have finally put us on the road to fairness. The contract was passed with a hefty majority of our members. This contract has given us hope for the future. It has improved the living wages of our members. It has gone a long way to make up for lost steps and created a number of joint committees which will work on important issues such as class size. This contract has created a situation commonly referred to as rising expectations. People who are completely without hope will not fight for a better life or civil rights. Only when hope has appeared do humans begin to struggle for a better life. That's when we see demonstrations such as the ones in Hong Kong and other places. The educators of PGCPS are in a situation of rising expectations, and we are ready to act on behalf of ourselves, our students, public education, our community, with all our might. Not that we didn't act before, but now we see the possibility of real progress. Tomorrow's checks will reflect the enhanced salaries, and happiness will reign in the kingdom of Prince George's. But not for long. There is a Category 10 storm on the horizon. It's called, we will raise your health care costs unilaterally and begin taking out of each paycheck as much as $25. There goes the improved salary for everyone. And there go our rising expectations, our hope for a better future, and part of our will to continue fighting for everyone. The best way to describe this is, so what else is new? Don't allow this to continue to be our mantra. It's been that way for too long. Say no to increased healthcare costs passed on to your employees. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for your comments. The next speaker is Martin Diggs, who's a bus driver retention, Mr. Diggs. And if Gabriel Walton would prepare to speak following Mr. Diggs.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak once again. I'm not going to be before you guys long. Just a couple of things I want to say. With the last meeting that we had, you guys mentioned that there were 900 new school teachers hired, and that was cool, no problem with that. Dr. Thornton, you made a statement that you guys were fully planned to fund the Kerwin report. I got no problem with that either. The only reason why I come up here and talk about things is because I just want us bus drivers and aides to start working second and third jobs in order to make a living. That's all I want. It's a lot of good people. Ms. Golson, you mentioned earlier today when you spoke, I'm gonna tell you, it's two drivers here, myself and another driver here. We are part of those drivers that go around when whatever the reasons are, the kids don't get picked up, they do an all-call on the radio. We're two of the drivers that answer and say, what do you need? We hustle. We get these kids picked up. We take them to where they need to go, safe as we can, as quick as we possibly can. We just want to have to not stop working so hard and not being told that we can get paid. So again, I thank you for all the work, the hard work that you guys put in. I thank you for the late nights that you guys put in. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Diggs. Mr. Walton, please come forward regarding the park exam.
Good evening, Board. Thank you for having me here. I'm Gabe Walton. I have a son at Tyack Elementary School and a daughter at Isaac Gordine Middle School. So I'm basically here to talk about the park. We've been trending in a really good direction, and I think I have a proposal that, maybe we can think about to try to continue the upward movement. So the Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Careers, obviously there's a lot of debate about standardized tests and its effectiveness in accurately assessing students' academic progress. But aside from that, I think if we could do more as far as after-school academic activities, I think some of our numbers and percentages of passing those tests will definitely increase. In fact, there are a number of research studies out there. One that I'm going to cite is from 2008, but a lot of recent ones also show some of the same numbers. But 2008 Harvard Family Research Project, published in the CETO letter, which is a reputable research journal, shows 10 years of research done by Dr. Little, Dr. Weimer, Dr. Weiss, that after-school programs, pre-K programs, actually help increase significantly students' scores on standardized tests. I'm working with the PTA at Isaac Gordine Middle School. What I'm going to propose for them this year is to try to do a trial program there where we provide more academic after-school activity programs. We have a lot of athletic programs there. Students participate, do all types of programs. If we can devote some of that time towards academic studying to reinforce what students are learning in class and to reinforce some of the things that they're preparing for with the park, I think we can definitely get our scores up to maybe even like 95% pass rate for some of our schools, like some of the other counties in Maryland are doing. That's pretty much all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. And thank you, sir, for your interest and leadership in this important area. We appreciate it. The final speaker is Annette Jones regarding field trips. Ms. Jones.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Board
evening.
members, good evening. My question to you, are you deterring teachers from going on field trips? My reason is our teachers have realized that while field trips are recommended by the county, the process is way too long. And as such, we have not been able to utilize this learning tool more often. The new proposals consider 60 days for approval and wait time after submission. This should not be more than 21 days. This is also compounded by paperwork upon paperwork. It's like you are just inventing the wheel. On the forms, we have to send in names, which we know that's okay with parents, but addresses, phone number of chaperones, including teachers, all that information can be accessible on the mighty school maps. This seems as if it's double working. The same information we are producing, and we are already, as teachers, bombarded with work. Educators, we don't have all that time to be double working. So our suggestion is, why not put the forms online? In addition, we recommend that you create a pool of approved sites and lesson plans, grade level by grade level, that correlates with our curriculum topics. And with this we think will enable more teachers to expose their students to outside classroom learning. You and I know that field trips are necessary activities for students. And also, research has proven that field trips enhance on learning, make concepts more memorable. Allowing kids out of the classroom often will stimulate their curiosity and actively engage the student to achieve new knowledge. I am sure this would alleviate some of the frequent behavior problems that we encounter with our students. As educators, we are asking Madam CEO that your hard-working staff reassess the field trip procedure approval time and consider our recommendations. Our students need experience a more holistic, integrated picture of the information that in the classroom may have only been presented in a textual, abstract way. Please consider our recommendation. I thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. That concludes the list of persons who signed up to speak, and we again thank each of you who came to speak to us this evening. We'll now move to the consent agenda. We will ask that item 4.7 be pulled at the request of a board member. Dr. Golson, if you'll introduce the others.
Items 4.1 through 4.6 requires board approval of proclamations commemorating Toni Morrison's life and legacy, World Space Week, National Day of Writing, Attendance Awareness Month, Domestic Violence Awareness Month, approval of the 2019-2020 school calendar amendments and rescheduling, disregard, and the approval of the 2019-2020 school calendar amendments.
A motion is in order for discussion on items 4.1 through 4.6.
So moved.
Probably moved and seconded. Any discussion on any of those items? Hearing none, those in favor, please say aye. Those opposing, no. The ayes have it. Please note, colleagues, regarding the proclamation regarding the world-famous Toni Morrison, there's a correction that has been made in the resolution. It's now been approved by the board, and that has now been posted and will be posted for public consumption. Ms. Ahmed, regarding item 4.7.
Yes, so at the last board meeting, Dr. Goltz and I expressed concern about not having a draft CIP in front of us to vote on, nor a detailed explanation of the changes for us or the public to review. I just wanted to confirm that the items presented in today's agenda under the follow-up heading contain the CIP changes that I had requested between last year's CIP plan and this one. Is that correct?
So you got two documents in a follow-up response, and yes, those two appendices that you received in a separate email communication shows those changes. What you have before you is the entire document, as well as the two appendices.
Okay, and then just to confirm, we'll have a completely revised edition of this in time for our September 19th board meeting.
Yes,
correct?
you will. It will come after the public hearing session.
Okay, all right, thank you, that's all.
Thank you, colleague. Now, colleagues, the vote is on 4.7, the rescheduling of the second reader. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposing, no. The ayes have it. We will now...
Point of privilege.
Yeah. I'm sorry? There was no motion on 4.7? Okay. Motion is in order regarding 4.7.
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded that the board approves item 4.7. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposing, no. The ayes have it. Your point of personal privilege will come. It'll come at the end. Okay. I will now move to the budget consent agenda 5. We will pull 5.2. Dr. Golson, you may introduce the other two.
Items 5.1 and 5.3 requires board approval for food services contract for produce and food services contract for dry food consent.
Motion is in order for 5.1 and 5.3. It's been properly moved and seconded that the board approves budget consent items 5.1 and 5.3. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposing, no. The ayes have it. Ms. Ahmed, regarding 5.2.
Yes, so two things. The first thing is, with all of these food services contracts, they all fall within budget, correct?
Yes.
Oh.
There was a motion.
Come on,
That's the way I normally do it. Let's hear a motion regarding 5.2.
So moved.
It's properly moved and seconded that the board approve 5.2 for discussion. Ms. Ahmed.
So all of the food contracts fall within budget, correct?
Yes, they do.
And we won't be in the red for?
We haven't been for several years now.
Okay. And then the next question is specifically for 5.2. There was only one bidder on this contract, right. And I'm just worried about being competitive and soliciting competitive bids. Is there, were any other bids sought for this contract?
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Joan Shorter, Director of Food and Nutrition Services. Yes, we do contact our purchasing department, fairly diligent about sending out notifications. And I think because of our size and the number of deliveries, so that is challenging for a lot of vendors, distributors.
Okay, but we've done our due diligence in being able to put it out and make sure that folks can bid on this.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Queen. Ms. Ahmed. Ms. Queen?
Hi, everybody know I'm strong union, and one of the problems I have, and I have a question is, why are we going to Mexico and Costa Rica instead of buying U.S.? I'm just wondering why some of these products coming from out our country?
So USDA has a mandatory buy U.S. We do have to buy U.S. products. So bananas, there are certain fruits, bananas are not grown in the United States, so we have to source them, and they give us approval. Actually, they do give the school districts and other public agencies approval to purchase those products that we cannot get within the United States. But there is a Buy American clause.
Thank you, Ms. Queen. Mr. Burrows.
Hi. We have farms in the county, correct?
Yes, we do.
And we have relationships with those farms in the county.
Correct.
Okay. I'd like to follow up with you offline about increasing our relationship with the farms in the county, and supporting our local agriculture community, increasing that level of support and relationship.
Thank you, Mr. Burrows. Colleagues, the vote is on 5-2. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposing, no. It's unanimous with student member cannot vote on that. Okay, thank you. I will now yield to Dr. Golson to introduce the first reader items, which will involve 6.1.
Item 6.1 requires board approval as a first reader.
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there a second? It's been properly moved and seconded that the board approve FY20 comprehensive maintenance as a first reader. Hearing no discussion, those in favor,
Point
please.
of order, just two questions.
Yes, sir. Two questions?
Yes.
Ms. Ahmed.
Dr. Goldson, I just want to confirm that with the approval of this plan, the daily and weekly checklists that are outlined, does this document then become the operating protocol for that department?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And then one key element, as I'm reviewing for second reader, one key element that I understand is incorporated into plans are SMART goals and objectives. And I don't necessarily see SMART goals and objectives in this maintenance plan. And so I'm wondering why not.
So you'll find those in our budget book. Remember, I did it for every department and division. So we can pull those SMART goals and align them with the comprehensive maintenance plan.
But it's not specifically listed in them?
No, it's not in this document. So we follow a format that the state requires because the document goes from here to the state. So we do follow that format.
Okay.
What we can do is add it as an addendum.
All right, please.
And still be in code as required by the state.
Okay, thank you. I'd appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you, Ms. Ahmed. Those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposing, no. The ayes have it. We have follow-up items from our August 22nd board meeting, and they've been posted to board docs. At this point, I want to recognize, as you know, at each board member, one board member has the privilege of a point of personal privilege. Mr. Omalola has requested it for this board meeting, and I'll recognize him.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to take a minute to applaud Dr. Golson on behalf of all the students in Prince George's County. We're so proud to have you as our CEO. We couldn't ask for a better CEO in this time. In addition, I want to thank all the teachers, the bus drivers, and the staff who came out early to welcome our students back. Every picture I saw online was of excited students from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. Hashtag last first day. So I want to thank everyone for their support and making sure that this week was an exceptional week. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. The students want to thank the Board of Education too. I thought I would try. I thought I would try. We'll get there. Okay, very good. A motion to approve actions taken in executive session regarding personnel appointments, legal advice, chief executive officer, administrative appointments, matters. A motion is in order.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. It's been properly moved and seconded that the actions taken by the board in executive session be approved. Those in favor, please say aye. Those opposing, no. A motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Those in favor, please say aye. Motion is adjourned. Thank you. What am I going to have to do to earn you to say the board? Come on now.